Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adults who are healing CPTSD. My name is Athena, and we have all been coming here together about once a week for over 10 years now. So I just want to pause, warmly welcome you if this is your first time clicking on one of our videos or live streams. And I just want to warmly welcome you to our global community. This YouTube channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research, also known as CPTSD Foundation.org. And we have a community away from social media where we come together on a daily basis and we share what works and what hasn't been working for us in our healing journey. And the foundation also offers 2 calls a day, every day, 365 days a year, so that adults who are healing CPTSD can receive daily support between therapy appointments. So if you're interested in joining us, there's a link in the chat box. There's also a link in the description section of this video. And before we get started today with our slow breathing and meditation, affirmation, and healing strategy, I just want to pause and warmly welcome those who are here. Hello, Jeffrey Sherman, I'm waving back to you. Hello, thank you for being here. Hello, Emily. I'm waving back at you. I'm sending you hearts right back. Hello to you, Ninja Taco. Good to see you, Recovery Buddy. I'm sending you smiley faces back. Hello, John Harvey. So great to see you. Thank you all for being here. Emily says, I've been too angry and sick and fatigued to be here. I'm glad to be back. I'm so glad you're back. And I'm sorry to hear that you have felt angry and sick and fatigued. It is wonderful to have you here with us. Thank you. Thank you to each of you. Thank you for your presence in our community. I'd love to know how you're doing. Our journal prompt this week, our theme this week, our theme is peace in the midst of a storm. Rather apropos considering all the storms with Hurricane Helene and Milton, everything going on in the world. The journal prompt is, what does peace amidst a storm look like for you? So that is our theme and our journal prompt this week. I would love to know how you're feeling and what does peace look like for you? Specifically, what does peace in the middle of a storm look like for you? I think for me, it looks like a few stolen moments to just put one hand on my heart space and one hand on my belly and just breathe slowly. For me, peace in the middle of a storm might look like connecting with a loved one on a text message or a phone call. For me, peace in the middle of a storm is just a few moments for myself, even if it means just stepping away to go stand in the kitchen, maybe wipe the counters, wash a couple dishes, or just step outside and just walk for a couple minutes. For me, peace in the middle of a storm can look like receiving a kind message from someone. For me, peace in the middle of a storm looks like receiving a video of my grandson from my daughter-in-law or my son, and just watching his little face smile and listening to his laughter and his little chatter and watching him toddle around and get excited about big tractors and fun things that 2.5-year-olds love to experience. So what does peace in the middle of a storm look like for you? And with my hand on my heart, anyone who has gone through a hurricane, a tornado, a storm, whatever it might be recently, even if you're going through a storm of your own, I just want you to know I'm thinking of you, and I'm so glad you're here. So very, very, very glad you're here. Thank you for your presence. So what about you? What does peace in the middle of a storm look like for you? I want to pause and just check on you. Hello, Mandy J and Lil J. Great to see you. John Harvey says, peace amidst the storm is the art of not giving a crap. That sounds like bliss. That sounds lovely to me. Seriously. Hello to you, Kitty. So glad you're here. Jennifer says, I survived the hurricane. I did not get flooding and my windows held steady. I am not doing well. I have to be careful of my blood pressure now. Hello, Athena and everyone. I am so sorry you are not doing well, Jennifer. I am grateful that you survived the hurricane and that your windows survived as well and that you didn't get flooded, but I am sorry to hear about your blood pressure. Hello, Nadine. I'm sending you butterflies right back. Yes, Emily says, oh, Jennifer. So we have a beautiful meditation on hope, on the theme of hope by Morgan Harper Nichols, all about how our soul is steady, even if we don't know it, even if we're experiencing a storm. But before I share Morgan Harper Nichols' meditation, I just want to invite us to take a couple of slow breaths together. If it feels comfortable for you, get into a nice seated position, or you may even lie down. Even just the thought of doing some slow breathing with you brought on a nice big yawn. So if closing down the eyes feels safe for you, please feel free to do so. And if not, that's okay. My invitation to you would be to soften your gaze. And if you'd like to get a nice big stretch, just slowly allow your body to relax. Just wiggling the toes and the ankles, relaxing the shins and the knees and the legs, allowing the belly to be soft and the heart space open. Relaxing the shoulders, softening the arms. Relaxing the space between the eyebrows, relaxing the forehead. And let us take 2 slow breaths in, extending our exhale twice as long as our inhale. Breathe in and out. And in and out. Beautiful. Excellent breathing. Slowly open the eyes, unsoften your gaze, reach up with your hands and your arms, and stretch. How does that feel? Well done. Hello, warm welcome to you, Ashton. Always so good to see you. So Morgan is inviting us to hold on to hope. She's pausing and acknowledging this week that sometimes we find ourselves in a place where we're not able to do the things we used to do. And just inviting us to glance at the truth of the light pouring in to us and the light shining through us, even amidst the brokenness of what might feel like a desert of unanswered hopes or prayers. And just considering the possibility of our theme this week, which is peace in the middle of a storm. And what might that look like for us? Morgan is inviting us to consider that despite all that has made us weary, our heart still is and will always be reaching toward hope, leaning toward hope, the way a sunflower leans towards the light. Morgan says, you may have been giving your all right now to peace and hope and finding the light in the little things. But there are these moments where the waves of yesterday's flood in from the sea, and they crash on the shore of everything we have tried to hold together. And it may be hard to slow down and be undone, because there is just so much to do. There are so many things that are calling your name, and so many people who need you. But I hope that even then, You may trust that it is okay to be undone. It is okay to not always know what to do. It is okay to slow down for the present moment. I know it is hard to truly be present here, because perhaps the emotions you're experiencing here seem so much greater than you. But what if light is still pouring through you? Even when your mind is tired and your heart is broken, what if your soul can still be whole? You may still hold on to peace right here. So may you take heart and breathe deep when you see the waves flooding in from the sea. Yes, you will feel their sharp coldness against your feet, but deep within, may you still know peace, trusting that everything that has happened, through it all, your story is still being written. Your heart is still being opened to heal in the ways it was always meant to. So please, may you keep making time for yourself, away from the busyness of life. There is a lot being asked of you, but peace is calling your name, reminding you that amidst the storm, the soul is steady all the same. And it might not feel that way, but may you trust that every wave is passing, truly passing, as the sand beneath your feet absorbs each and every wave. The weight of it all is undone, and you are free to hold on to peace. No matter what has fallen apart, you are free to hold on to hope. No matter what may have broken your heart, for all along your soul has been steady. Yes, all along your soul has been steady. Slow breath together. How was that for you? Yes, I agree, Emily. Beautifully written. Kitty says emotional. Yeah. Just offering a gentle, safe hug for anyone who might need one. Yes, for all along your soul has been steady. So grateful for your presence here. So from page 195 of Young Pueblo's most recent book, titled The Way Forward, he says, "The work you put into a relationship that has ended is not wasted. Learning to love better, to communicate clearly, having the courage to speak up about what you need, and knowing how to give without exhausting yourself. These are skills that will benefit every part of your life." Yeah. Just offering comfort to anyone who may need comfort during this time. So, Dr. Arielle Schwartz, her compassionate healing strategy this week, taken from her book titled A Practical Guide to Complex PTSD, Compassionate Strategies to Begin Healing from Childhood Trauma. The strategy this week is from page 121, and it's called Validating Emotions. So Dr. Arielle says, "We receive validation when someone listens to us without judgment. That person is offering unconditional acceptance, which allows us to acknowledge the importance of our thoughts and feelings." This healing strategy focuses on helping you validate your own emotions by offering unconditional acceptance of your own experience. And this healing strategy this week is inspired by DBT, Dialectical Behavior Therapy. So let us explore together the following suggestions to keep in mind during times of intense or distressing emotions and experiences. This practice is great to come back to anytime, but especially during those times when you're feeling confused or unclear about your response to a person or situation. So if you're a note taker, make a note to fast forward to minute number 24 on today's video from Monday, October 14th, 2024. And Dr. Arielle says, "And remember, if you find self-validation challenging, it is okay. It's always okay to seek support from someone you trust." So let us begin. Dr. Arielle says, "Let us see if we can identify a difficult emotion that we may be feeling. Is it sadness, anger, fear, disappointment, confusion or shame. Let's just identify the difficult emotion first. Next, let us notice any judgmental or invalidating thoughts that we might be having. Now, an invalidating thought could be something like, "Oh, I'm just being too sensitive. I should just get over it. What's wrong with me? My feelings are stupid." These are examples of invalidating thoughts. Just noticing the invalidating thoughts. We're not trying to fix them or judge them or label them. We're just glancing at them right now. So remember, first we're identifying the difficult emotion, and next we're just noticing any type of judgment or invalidating thought we might have. Next, we're going to make an agreement with ourselves to suspend or stop any invalidating thoughts. We can do this by saying to ourselves the word stop. And then, as soon as we say stop, we can say something along the lines of, "I deserve to treat myself with kindness and respect." I deserve to treat myself with kindness and respect. Next, we're going to glance at the source of the difficult emotion. We're going to try to find the source. And the way we do this is by asking ourselves, when did I first start feeling this way? So remember, I'm just going to rewind a little bit. We're going to go through all 4 of those again. We're pausing. We're going to identify a difficult emotion that we may be feeling, like sadness, anger, fear, disappointment, confusion, or shame. Then we're going to notice any type of judgmental or invalidating thoughts. And then we're going to make an agreement with ourselves and say, stop. I deserve to treat myself with kindness and respect. And then we're going to pause and go inward and ask ourselves, when did I first start feeling this painful emotion? What circumstances contributed to my feelings? This might take a little while. It's okay. And once we're able to locate what circumstances might have contributed to our painful feelings, or when we might have started feeling that way, then we can explore validating statements, such as, of course I'm feeling this way. That makes sense. My feelings make sense. How could it be any other way? Look at all I've been through. Or how I feel is important. You could even say something like, how I am feeling is just as important as how someone else is feeling. And then just remember, if this is difficult for you to validate your own experience, that's very common. Just ask yourself, if it feels a little awkward, just ask yourself, how would someone else feel in my situation? What would I say to them to offer them compassion if they were feeling how we are feeling right now? Remember, we're just identifying a painful emotion. We're just witnessing it warmly, noticing any invalidating thoughts. And then we're thinking to ourselves, my feelings make sense. Of course I'm feeling this way. Look at what I've been through. How I'm feeling is important. And again, if that feels a little awkward, just perhaps explore how someone else might be feeling in your situation and how you might offer compassion to them if they were feeling that way. And the next part, this is where the magic happens. This is what's been the most helpful for me personally. The next part of this is, once we realize that our feelings make sense, let us pause and ask ourselves, what do I need right now? What do I want right now? This can be very challenging for those of us who are healing from childhood trauma, developmental trauma, early childhood trauma, attachment trauma. When we try to pause and check in with ourselves and inquire about what it is that we want or what we might need, we can come up blank and feel like we're not really sure. We may not even be able to assess a need or a feeling or a want or a need or a desire or a longing or an urge. I know many of you have heard this story before, but when my son left for the military, I drove back from the airport that day after dropping him off. And I was among a group of friends, and they asked me if I was thirsty. And I honestly didn't know. They asked me what I might like to drink. And I said, I don't know. It was impossible for me in that moment to ask myself, what do I need right now? What do I want? Because if I would have been honest in those moments, it would have said, I need my son to not be gone. We've been together nearly every day for 17 years. And now we are not. I don't know what I need other than to not be alone. And when we feel that pain, the pain of inescapable grief, undeniable loneliness, indescribable sadness and pain, the desolation of the absence of another being, those feelings are big and scary. And so I just didn't know. I didn't know if I was thirsty. I didn't know what I wanted to drink. I didn't know if I was hungry. I just didn't know. And what Dr. Ariel is reminding us here is, if it is important to me, then it is important. If it is important to you, it is important. Of course I'm feeling sadness. Look at what I'm experiencing. My feelings make sense. What do I need right now? If it's important to me, then it is important. Let us all take a slow breath together. Let us pause. Dr. Ariel's invitation is for us to pause and acknowledge and accept our current experience and emotional response. It is okay to acknowledge and accept our current experience and our emotional response. How do you feel in your body now? Just offering you peace. Offering you peace and warmth. The important thing is for you to know that your feelings make sense. Your feelings make sense and your needs matter. If it is important to you, it is important. Your experience is valid, real, and legitimate. I learned that from one of my mentors. His name is Marshall. My experience is valid and real and legitimate. And Dr. Ariel says, if it's important to me, it is important. if it is important to you, it is important. We will close our time together with our Loving the Self affirmation, written by Lisa A. Romano. And this is from page 3 of her free download, titled Loving the Self Affirmations. And remember, if the affirmation doesn't feel true or safe or helpful and supportive in the body, you can just skip it, or you can move the words around until it does feel safe and supportive for you. Lisa says, I know that when I was small and my mind was impressionable, I internalized much of the negativity that was around me. I may have unknowingly learned to believe that I was unworthy because others could not express love the way my young mind would have liked for them to. I am beginning to understand that I was always worthy, even when others were not loving me the way my child's mind would have liked for them to. Reorganizing my perception about me will help me to love me more. We have always been worthy. We have always been worthy of kindness, warmth, compassion, acknowledgement, validation, empathy. We have always been worthy. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your presence. For some reason, my chat box won't move up. I'm trying to page up. Looks like I missed a whole bunch, but for some reason it's frozen. I'm glad that it was helpful, Ashton. Kitty says some of my needs feel unmeetable. I hear you, Kitty. Yes. My hand is on my heart. Imperfect Yoga with Allie. Hello, Imperfect Yoga with Allie. I think I'm meeting you for the very first time. It's so wonderful to have you with us today. Allie says, could you put the link to the last affirmation in the chat? It sounds wonderful. You know what? It is a free ebook download from Lisa A. Romano titled Loving the Self Affirmations. And let me try to find it for you here. It was from page 3. There you go. I hope that comes through. Sometimes it doesn't. Jeffrey Sherman says, damn. I felt that in my soul. Jeffrey Sherman says we can get the love we need. We can. Yes. Yes. It may take a while, but I believe we can. I believe those needs are planted in us and that we are able to meet those needs. It's going to take some work on our part, unfortunately, which, in my opinion, it is unjust that not only are we healing from things we didn't ask for, but we're trying to meet needs that were supposed to be met by others. You know? It's just very unjust. Yeah, it was hard today. I really want to warmly witness you in that, Candida. It's so lovely to see you, by the way. It was hard today. I agree. I just want you to know I see you. I hear you. That's so valid and so true. Hello, Marzul. It's nice to meet you. So lovely to have you here. Yes, we can have those needs and ask for those needs to be met. Yes, as long as we're asking for those needs to be met from a safe enough person. Absolutely. Oh, you're so very welcome, Allie. Jeffrey Sherman says, Athena says, if affirmations feel like lies or if they feel impossible for you, you can move alter the words or take out words until it feels helpful for you. If you could just not use it at all. Yes, add words or move around. Yes, let's try that together before we end. I know we're over time. So here we go. Let's move the words around until it feels helpful for us, shall we? Lisa says, I know that when I was a small child and my mind was impressionable, I may have internalized much of the negativity that was around me. I may have unknowingly learned to believe that I was unworthy because others could not express love in the way my young mind would have liked for them to. But today, I am open to the idea of beginning the process to understand that I was always worthy. What if I was always worthy? What if I was always worthy even when others were not loving me the way my young child's mind would have liked for them to? I am open to the possibility of reorganizing my perception about me. And what if reorganizing my perception of me will help me love me more? How did that land for you? I hope that landed better for you. Oh, my glasses are... I think I need a new prescription. I'm just offering warm hugs for anyone who might need a warm, safe hug today. Because I know I could use a warm, safe hug today. Yes, Merzul says, sounds like Pete Walker's unconditional positive self-regard. Yes, Unconditional warm regard is huge, huge. In fact, let's link to Uncle Pete, shall we? Because https // here we go. There we go. Yeah. Pete is in my fantasy family. He is my Uncle Pete, my fantasy uncle. Other people have fantasy sports teams. I have a fantasy family, and I call them my family. You all are my siblings. You're my fantasy siblings. And Melody Beatty is my fantasy mama, Mama Melody. Dr. Bessel Vanderkolk is my fantasy daddy. Lisa A. Romano is cousin Lisa. Uncle Pete, Pete Walker. Darlene Lancer, cousin Darlene. Richard Grannon, cousin Richard. Always the funny, silly one that shows up at the family reunion. Let's see, Dr. Glenn Patrick Doyle is cousin Doyle. Patrick Tihan, the therapist, cousin Patrick. Oh yes. And let's all not forget the crappy childhood fairy. Hello. We absolutely love us some cousin Anna Runkle. Crappy childhood fairy. She is everyone's favorite cousin in the fantasy family. So thank you all for being a part of my family. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for allowing me to be in yours. Yes, Auntie Anna. Auntie Anna, that's a good idea. She could be our aunt. Yes. Oh, yes, we can't forget about Dr. Ramani Durvasula. Are you kidding me right now? Like, I feel like I want her to, like, be in my pocket, like, all day, every day. Like, go with me wherever I go. Like the angel on my shoulder that goes with me, like my fairy godmother. That's who I want Dr. Ramani to be, my fairy godmother, Dr. Ramani. Ooh, I don't know Heidi Dillygaff. Now I am very, very, very curious. Ooh, yes, our great Uncle Peter Levine. Somatic experiencing. Oh, let's not forget Annie Wright. She's my sister. She's my niece, actually, because she's so young. My niece, Annie Wright. She's my fantasy niece. Yes, he is the realest dude. He is the realest of real. I love him so much. He's like, I like channel my inner Patrick when I'm trying to really look for like self-protection and learning how to like self-validate what it is that I've been through. He's so validating. Yes, Dr. Ramani is amazing. She's on our page here. Like these are and Dr. Ariel Schwartz. She's our Auntie Ariel. I told Dr. Bessel Vanderkolk on our first annual CPTSD Awareness Day, I got to interview him. I told him that he was our community's fantasy daddy. And he was cracking up. I told him about my fantasy family and about how you all are my family and my friendly family of choice. And he thought that was the neatest idea and was just giggling. He thought it was hilarious. Okay, we are way over time. Look at me breaking the rules. I feel like we're all like hiding in a pillow fort with the flashlight on and we're supposed to be sleeping and we're going to get in trouble because we're going way over time. I'm breaking all the rules. Andrea Gibson. Ooh. Yes, I love Dr. Ariel. She's amazing. Her yoga heals my soul. So Heidi Prieb suggests a song called My Number One Fan by Muna. It's about being your own best friend. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I got to look this up. Okay, so Heidi Prieb, Andrea Gibson. Let me see. Heidi Prieb, oops, and Andrea Gibson. Thank you all for helping me learn about new people. I love you. Okay, I'm looking them up. Very cool. Well, thank you. Again, thank you all for being my family, my friendly family of choice. Highly recommend the fantasy family. Who needs a fantasy sports team when you can have a friendly family of choice? And like, they will always support you, always warmly witness you, always acknowledge your lived experience, validate every one of your feelings. And no matter what, when you spend time with them, you walk away having felt a noticeable, palpable, felt sense of empathy. You feel filled up rather than depleted. It's just always consistently. I have been here with you all nearly every week of my life in over 10 years. And every single week for 10 years, I walk away feeling filled up. I've been warmly witnessed. I've gotten to warmly witness you. I feel seen, heard, valued, understood. I get to acknowledge you and your lived experience. I get to validate what it is that you go through. I feel validated. And I always have a felt sense of empathy every single week. So thank you. Thank you for enriching my life. And thank you for allowing me to be in yours. And I hope to see you over. This YouTube channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research. And so we offer 2 calls a day, every single day, 365 days a year. And so I'll either see you there, and you can join us there if you would like to. Otherwise, I'll just be back here with you next Monday and every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And in between now and then, please be extra kind, patient, and gentle with yourself, because you're worth it. And you've always been worth it. And I'll see you soon. Good night, everyone.